Hello, and welcome back to Dumbslate, a podcast about movies. My name is Felix, and I'm your host. We only have 4 minutes and 20 seconds, so let's get started. Today, we are covering MaXXXine, directed by T. West. It's definitely a star-studded cast featuring Mia Goth as Maxine Minx, Moses Sumney as Leon, the video store clerk who is friends with Maxine, a musician who just stepped into acting, and I really enjoyed his performance. Halsey makes an appearance as a friend and sex worker alongside Maxine. Kevin Bacon as a private investigator. Some other notable mentions would be Elizabeth Debicki, Lily Collins, Michelle Monaghan, and Bobby Torres. MaXXXine is the third and final installment to the T. West trilogy following X and Pearl. It takes place after the happenings of X on the first film when she, spoiler alert, escapes the massacre of all her friends at the house of serial killer Pearl and her husband, whom she both murders before running away to LA. A few years later, and she is a successful porn actress who gets her break in the sequel of a cult horror film called The Puritan 2. Unfortunately, the past horrors of what happened on that farm come back to haunt her. I was really looking forward to MaXXXine. I actually expected it to be in my top 3 for 2024, but it honestly just flopped for me. Not to say it was a complete letdown, as in fact I still enjoyed it. I just expected so much more from it. And it's because Pearl and X are two of some of my favorite movies, and this just wasn't on the same vibe. While X and Pearl fit into a genre of slasher horror with deeper themes, MaXXXine fits into blockbuster film and cheesy horror. While X and Pearl are very intimate films taking place on an isolated farm, MaXXXine is in the middle of LA. I guess I should have anticipated a big change in pace and style, but I guess I didn't. While it started strong, it eventually just turns into what the fuck. For example, the Night Stalker plot was honestly a miss for me. I was intrigued to see how T. West would integrate him into the plot, but he really didn't. It was just distracting and took away more than it added. While the cast was also strong, I didn't particularly enjoy it for the film. Bobby Torres, while funny, isn't someone I want to see in this film. Kevin Bacon was another head scratch for me as to why this person was casted. I get what T. West was doing, wanting to make this movie a blockbuster hit on the theme that MaXXXine is finally becoming a star with bigger production, bigger actors, bigger set, and big Hollywood horror movie references. The only thing he didn't go big on was the horror and the gore. I wanted the bloody slashing deaths that Pearl and X brought us, and it was quite the letdown. To me, the biggest letdown, though, was how flat the ending of the film was, just for the overall trilogy. He created this universe of deep storyline about desire, jealousy, divine intervention versus our own will and doing. He had Mia Goth play generational roles as Pearl and MaXXXine in all 3 films. Created this big thrill from the first film about MaXXXine being a runaway from a cult leader, and then this. Anyway, let's get into the important things. My rating, 3.5 stars. This is an overrating, I know. It's coming in at a must-watch in my scale. By the way, next week's video is going to be covering Cuckoo, as well as listing my Letterboxd ratings and what each means. Average rating, 3.1. I thought this was fair. My second favorite Letterboxd review, because the first one was too long for me to cover, comes from Kit Laser. I will not accept an act I do not oh geez, I just fucked this up, guys. I'm high. I'm sorry. Is this film stoner friendly? It's the 80s, it's thriller, and it's a great film to be hitting the bowl throughout. Would you watch with your parents? I mean, MaXXXine does absolutely curb stomp someone's balls, and it's a pretty hard to watch. But sure, watch with your parents. I think they'll love all the 80s references and the music. And it'll be probably the only A24 film that they've ever watched. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Come back next Monday for episode 5 of Dumbslate. We're literally smoking and talking about movies.